How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look.
You're on your way to the Super Bowl, but does your game still feel a bit flat? Cialis Inflatable will help fill your balls anytime. That is right. You ever seen that?
I've never seen that.
Oh, dude, this was made after the Deflategate. I'm gonna show that to you.
Oh, okay.
Cialis Inflatable helps fill your balls anytime the time is right.
Can say confidently I've never seen that.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking hilarious. I'm gonna show it to you after.
We'll have to look into it.
But I figured that would be a fun intro.
It was great. Well, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Conti and Nick. I'm Will Nicholson, as always. I have with me Gino Conti here Wednesday night in Bridgewater State University in Massachusetts.
MA, baby.
MA. And we got ourselves an episode today. Look, Gino texted me this topic, and I was just like, wow, really? We've reached this point? Okay.
Oh, well, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, we have. And you know what? Shout out Andrew Kilbin, okay, because he's the only one who's with me on this, and he will continue to be the only one until everyone actually wakes up and realizes. Okay, you all see the title on the screen. You all see what this is about, and you're probably going to end up hating me after this. But this is one of those episodes where at first I'm going to seem crazy, but you look back after like a year or two and be like, Conti was right, you know? And Andrew Kilbin.
We'll see.
Shout out to Andrew Kilbin.
Of course, got to keep Andrew Kilbin in there. So yeah, look, we've seen the title. Gino texted me about this, and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And I sent a text, if you're in the sports group chat, shout out to you. That's like, wow, we're okay. I can't believe I had to make this thumbnail today. But
stop playing victim, Nicholson.
I'm not playing victim.
I go, Will, do you want to talk about something else? And I just did not get an answer. And he's like, well, actually, no. He was like, no, it's fine. And then he puts in the sports group chat, he goes, guys, I cannot believe that we're doing this. I'm like,
I can't.
You have every right to say no.
No, it's not your fault. I just think it's crazy. That's just it's kind of your fault. I'm kidding.
Nah, Nicholson.
No, we're excited for this. So Gino, I'm gonna let you kick it off here, because you're kind of like the leader of this whole kind of discussion going on right now. So I'll give you a floor. Why, what is your reasoning for should Jayson Tatum be traded?
So it's not because of his talent.
Okay.
It's not because I think he's declining. It's not because I think that he's some scrub or some like underachiever. He has definitely reached superstar status in the NBA. Do we both agree on that? Well,
yes. Okay. Yes, that's fair.
Jayson Tatum is a superstar in the NBA. Do you realize how this man grew up? Like who he grew up cheering?
The Lakers.
He's a Lakers fan.
He did. Big Kobe fan.
He's a Lakers fan. This is not a place where he wants to be. Okay, he does not want to be a Boston Celtic. He grew up idolizing the Lakers. He grew up idolizing Kobe, and he grew up just wanting to be Kobe Bryant. Okay, he plays like it, and for better or for worse, that's who he really tries to be like. Okay, I'm telling you right now, in due time, he will not want to be here. Do this move now before he announces he wants out. Because then it'll just be a huge mess. It'll become a huge dramatic situation, okay? Let me explain first of all, okay? The Celtics have a hard-on for Marcus Smart. Is that something else that we agree on, Will?
Sure, yeah. I think he's Brad's guy.
Okay, yeah. Well, yes, the Celtics have an absolute hard-on for Marcus Smart. Why?
Because we don't want to admit we drafted it wrong when we took him 6 overall. That and Terry Rozier when we took Terry over Giannis, but... we're Celtics. We ride or die.
Well, listen. Why do we have such a hard-on for Marcus Smart? That's my question. You can find a slightly worse defender for somebody who's going to specifically know their role on offense. For somebody who is going to specifically know, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm supposed to do. You're going to laugh. Matisse Thybulle. Bruce Brown.
Love Matisse.
Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley specifically, I'd say, because he plays the point. Okay, those are guys who might not be as good of defenders as Marcus Smart, because Smart is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate pretty much every single year. Okay, but he chucks up shots all the time.
He is a chucker.
He is.
He does chuck up a lot.
Sometimes, and like I'd say 1 out of every 25 games in an 82-game season, okay, which averages out to less than 3 or a little more than 3, then what do you say? Trademark? Yes. Thank you, Colin.
We can agree with that. Thank you. We can agree with the trademark.
Yes, absolutely. There are some games where he wins you the game. Most of the time, he'll lose you the game. Okay? On the court, like, when are we going to realize that Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, that trio just doesn't work? It does not work. When you talk about third guys, Marcus Smart is not that. And what I'm seeing right now is what the Washington Wizards were in the mid-2010s. When they were like, Wall and Beal, Wall and Beal, Wall and Beal. This is enough, this is enough, this is enough. No. They were too hard-headed. Ernie Grunfeld was so, like, adamant that this is what was going to happen. And no, guess what? They traded
I actually really like that comparison.
Thank you.
That seems very like the position that the Celtics are in right now, where you have Bradley Beal, you have John Wall, and this will be enough, right? You know, it's the same thing. They make an Eastern Conference Final, and you have all these pieces around, like you have Markieff Morris that was there,
Morris.
And then you have like Marcin Gortat.
Yeah, Marcin Gortat, who was actually pretty good at it in his day.
And I get what you're saying. It feels kind of the same, where we have that rim roller right now with Rob Williams, and you have your two like all-star caliber players, and then you kind of have pieces that just fit in there. You have like guards that slip in.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different just as far as you go like position wise, but that's actually a pretty good comparison when you think about it. Because I'm not fully with you on the whole trade Jayson Tatum thing yet. I mean, I'll give you your chance to fight the good fight. But my thing with the Celtics is they just need to make moves that make sense. You know what I mean? I liked the moves we were making for a little bit. I liked getting Al Horford back, and I agreed with a good amount of stuff that they did. But I mean, we thought Ime Udoka was going to change it, and it hasn't really seemed like it's changed that much as far as the offense goes. I remember in the press conference he was saying how they needed to be higher in assists and things like that, and he took a shot at Brad, and this team isn't really, they're 29th in assists or something. It's bad. It might not be that bad. I apologize, but it's pretty horrible when it comes to playing team basketball. And look, if you didn't hear my rant on Thanksgiving about the Warriors, that's something that the Celtics just cannot do. The ball movement and the off-ball movement of the Warriors makes them a fantastic team to watch, and the Celtics just don't feel like they have that type of element. So I'm with you in that point. I'm with you so far, but I think we disagree, and I think we agree the Celtics are bad, but we disagree about how it is to change it. But I'll let you go with the whole Tatum theory.
So listen, I've said this for about a year now, okay? Because last year was the year it really, really became evident that this just isn't going to work, okay? We've basically built the team around Tatum and around Brown. We got a new coach, and what was the big complaint? We need a rebounding center. We got Tristan Thompson, nothing changes. We need a point guard, like a pretty good point guard who can score but also facilitate. Okay?
Fill in that Kyrie role without being Kyrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker, nothing changed. Okay? Then we tried our hand with Dennis Schroeder. Good scorer, nothing has changed. Mm-hmm. Then we said we need a good bench scorer, someone who can create his own shot. Josh Richardson, nothing changed. Okay, then we needed just a pure sharp. Aaron Nesmith, nothing's changed. Okay, what I'm telling you is there are only so many combinations that you can do. We have given this duo everything. Okay, we've given
every different
them
combination it needs.
We've given them everything. And let me tell you something, Jaylen Brown is not the problem here. It's not. You ever hear the saying that the team takes on the attitude of your best player?
That's true.
We play heartless.
Yeah.
We play absolutely heartless. Like I said, a new coach,
that's
new
a lot
GM.
for Tatum, though. Because he's not that guy. We've known Tatum is not that guy. He's a quiet dude. He's not fired up. And is that a bad thing necessarily? I don't think so. I think that's just his personality. And I think there's other guys that, can be that type of, fiery type of leader without kind of, being the best player on the team. I know you're not a big Kawhi guy. Yeah, I was going to say Kawhi. Even like LeBron. LeBron, I think, speaks more with his actions on the court than anything else. Maybe it's a little different now, but I'm talking like prime LeBron, didn't really say much, just went out there and just was amazing, right? So I don't know if it's Tatum's personality, but I do agree that this team, it plays heartless.
Exactly. So what I'm telling, but it is no secret the team takes on the attitude of its best player. When Brady was on the Pats, I know I don't like comparing the two sports, but I'm going to here. I'm going to contradict myself. Ooh, Conti, okay? But Brady's on the Pats. The Patriot way is Tom Brady. Okay, I'm not saying that Mac Jones is the best player on the Patriots, but look at he's the quarterback. Okay, it's the it's the sixth most important position on the field. Okay, look at the attitude that they're taking on. It's starting to feel a little reminiscent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. Here we got. All right, we'll touch on this real quick. The whole trade Al. I don't think that fixes anything.
No,
I don't think trading Al really fixes much about this whole situation. It's not this is from Colin Nance. It's not a bad thing. Tatum is quiet. It's just Celtics fans aren't accustomed to that kind of attitude. I agree. I think that's a fair point. And I don't think you need to be this type of fiery. Paul Pierce, right? Paul Pierce would get fired up at times, but the heart and soul of that team, in my opinion, was Kevin Garnett. It's who he was, the defensive end, or anchor. Sorry, I don't know why I said defensive end. My bad. But if you just look at teams in general, right? Just there can be that guy who's the best player on the team. He's your elite scorer, and he doesn't need to be this type of fired up type of. It works sometimes. It works,
but that's not what I'm saying. Okay, but like I personally don't care about like how he expresses himself on and off the court. Okay, like I'm talking about just like the attitude. Okay, like how many players only meetings, how many like team interventions where Marcus Smart is exploding in the locker room, throwing chairs, screaming at one another, or like I said, players only meetings. How many more of those is it gonna take? Okay, because from what I've heard, they've had about like 2-3 now. I think about 3. I think there was another like a third one too, like early or late last year before, and then there was one in the bubble, right? So how many of these meetings, how many of these discussions as to what has to happen, like are gonna need to happen? Like this is what you do to make sure a quarterback isn't what's right for your team, right? You take away the coach, or you change the coach, you change the surrounding cast, you change the offensive line, you change the system, and guess what? If the team still sucks, then you identify that it's the quarterback.
Yep.
Okay.
Totally agree.
And now that this is what the Celtics are doing, or should be doing, or this is pretty much what's happening with Tatum. You change the GM, you change the coach, you change the surrounding cast so many different ways into ways that would be beneficial for that star player. Okay, and nothing is changing. If anything, it's decreased. If anything, it's like regressed. I don't like the direction the Celtics are going.
We need to talk about
attitude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But they play with no heart. And again, this is what I'm saying. Like, at what point do we say, well, it's Tatum's fault? And this isn't like me roasting his talent. He's a superstar. He's an NBA superstar, but he's not meant to be here. And what I'm trying to tell you is trade him now. Because when eventually it's inevitable, he's a superstar. He's going to want to go play with his friends in a bigger market than Boston, like LA, maybe New York. He's going to announce it's going to be just like Anthony Davis. It's going to be exactly the same thing. Okay, and this is what's going to happen. We're going to get pennies on the dollar for him because we know he's a distressed asset, and no team is going to pay a premium for somebody who they know wants out. Put him on the trade block now. I'm saying right now.
Okay, now.
If I'm Danny, I'm sorry, not Danny Ainge. If I'm Brad Stevens, I'm doing it right now, and I'm getting everything and then some for Jayson Tatum.
Look, I'm going to disagree with you here because I don't think that, and there is times where I do fully agree that just hitting the reset button and going, okay, this isn't working, we need to start over. I've said that's a good idea, and there's still I can give a couple of examples. Jimmy Butler, I've in Chicago, I said, okay, that needs to be a start over button. Oh God, I just had a bunch.
The Washington Wizards?
Sure, yeah. So John Wall needed out. Even when we go to football, there's guys who just, they need out. Like, he's not on the same level, but Sam Darnold needs out. Baker Mayfield needs out. And look, these are it's not superstar players, but I think just a fresh scene for a lot of guys is a good thing. Ben Simmons right now needs out 100%. He needs to get out of there. And
James Harden.
Yes, exactly. James Harden. There's guys who just need to get out. They need to get out. It's not working.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, it's a whole. We can go on for days about examples.
LeBron
right?
James.
It happens, but
Kevin Durant.
it's a mental game, and we don't always realize if your mental's off, then you don't play as well. Oh yeah, that was big time. You need to hit the reset button.
Hey, say what you want. He's made an impact in Chicago.
Oh, he has been for sure. I've loved watching the Bulls, but look, I don't think this is one of the situations where I don't think hitting the reset button is the right thing to do. This is something that, in my opinion, a bad franchise would do. This is what the Knicks would do. Obviously, I think Tatum is more talented, but it's what they did with Kristaps Porzingis. It's he's a little disgruntled later. You know what I mean? It's just quick in and out. And I don't think that's the solution here. So what I do think what I do think a good solution would be is yes, trade Marcus Smart, maybe even look to trade Jaylen Brown. I know we love Jaylen, but I don't think moving your best player, your superstar level player, works in this situation, because then the rebuild in 2012 and 13 or 13-14, were for nothing. They're for nothing. Trading all those first round picks, the Celtics have. First of all, you can't fully blame Tatum. As well, it's the draft. The draft has not gone well these past couple of years, and in my opinion. Okay, yeah, you get Neesmith. Sure, I'll take Time Lord.
Time Lord.
Okay.
You get Neesmith. Romeo Langford has worked his way into this rotation. I know I talk about Romeo Langford like he's a god, but he's definitely worked his way into the rotation. We didn't have a first round pick last year because we traded away Kemba. And to eat their salary, to eat some of his salary, we gave away a first round pick. Okay, like Marcus Smart, for all intents and purposes, wasn't, I mean, awful, but then who's in between, but like, as he should go, but he's like a solid enough defender, a great defender. Yeah. But besides those three guys, the drafting has been Brown and Tatum. So that's true. So you have Neesmith, Langford, two guys who aren't gods, but have worked their way into the rotation. Okay, you have Marcus Smart, who, regardless of how much I dislike him now, is a defensive player of the year candidate, and then Time Lord. And then you have Smart and Brown. That's pretty good, damn good drafting.
It's solid, but we know this doesn't work, right? We know this doesn't work, and the draft, in my opinion, hasn't been too good. It's like when I said back in the Patriots, back in 2018, or whenever we were drafting Sony Michel and N'Keal Harry, I said these are not good draft picks, and they're not. You're getting maybe okay. I'll give you Isaiah Wynn. Isaiah Wynn's okay. So Michelle, I'm like, we're getting banged up guys. We're getting guys who are unproven. Well, and I disagree. Yeah, and all the past draft picks from the Patriots, besides like this year, have, in my opinion, been terrible. I don't think we've really had that many hits these past couple of years, and I feel the same way with the Celtics right now. We don't have hits, and look, I don't need every player to come out of the draft being some type of all-star or anything like that, but just being like a serviceable player. And it doesn't feel like we have that. We draft these guys, we draft all these rookies, and they just never develop, in my opinion. Okay, has Romeo Langford gotten better? Yes, he was supposed to get better. He's still not anything special. Then you have guys like Peyton Pritchard, who were barely even playing.
Yes, Pritchard too. Thank you. Another guy who's worked his way into the rotation.
Yeah, but I think that's because our team being bad, right? I see the Nicholson, you fool. No, but I think that just has to do with our team not being good. It's like, okay, we need to play these guys. Peyton Pritchard is still not even really cracking the rotation now, and there's guys who just aren't really playing.
I blame that on Ime.
Sure.
I blame that on Udoka because they're like, first of all, he's a first-time coach, okay? He's learning how to work the ins and outs and the ebbs and flows, and he's not really playing a lot of guys as much as he should. But if you take a look at last year, Peyton Pritchard played a decent amount. Neesmith came a long way towards the end of the year. Then again, you had Langford, who made his way and made a name for himself. You have some players here, like I said, like the drafting to be good. If you're a good drafting team, then that's a lot. Like, you can say that about not too many teams in the league, that they've drafted well and pretty consistently. They've had 2 absolute hits, and they've had about, I'd say, 4 or 5 guys who are still on the team and who have worked their way into the rotation and have gotten extensions.
There's guys, though, that I feel like we should have kept, right? I never agreed with us getting rid of Terry Rozier. Never agreed with
I didn't agree with that.
I didn't agree with it either. And getting Kemba Walker, I feel like, okay, you pay Terry, he's going to be a little expensive. He's not going to be anything crazy. You keep Al Horford, you give Al Horford the money he needs, and then you can maybe re-sign Marcus Morris the year that Kyrie went. And I liked that team. I genuinely liked watching that team with Terry at the point, Brown, Tatum, and then you have Marcus Morris, and then you have Al Horford. I think that team was really good. You have defense all over the place, but instead we pretty much blew up our entire role player of the team, and now it's the chemistry just feels off in this team.
Well,
and I don't feel like
the
trading.
keys to Tatum.
Sure, but I don't feel like now blowing it up with Tatum is going to make it any better. I don't think that does the Celtics any good. I believe that there needs to be changes, and I think that things need to happen. But I don't think just blowing it up with Jayson Tatum's the answer.
Well, listen, we've been saying this for years. We go, well, there needs to be changes. Well, there needs to be changes. And then this is my point, okay, there needs to be changes, but I pretty much laid out a whole entire map over the last 3 or 4 years as to the changes that have happened. And they've all been getting role players and extending people or drafting people or like signing people in free agency. One of those 3 methods or all 3 at once. They've all been those methods to build around Tatum. And again, like they literally, for the sake of making sure that Tatum is comfortable and is like fully equipped to do his job, which is win like the superstar he is and be the number 1 player on a championship contending team, they have done everything. And and nothing is changing. So again, I pose a question to you. If they've done everything they can to build around one guy, okay, and that one guy isn't taking the necessary steps, okay, he has another all-star, he has another defensive player of the year candidate, okay, and he has solid role players all around. He has the ultimate jack-of-all-trades role player again, in Al Horford. He's had it twice. Granted, he's a little older, okay, but he still does like what he needs to do. Like, my question to you, like, what else do we need to do? Like, what else? Because like I've lost my patience. I haven't. Yes, Cam. He's 20. Yeah.
I was about to make that point.
Cam,
Tatum's still young. He needs time. And in Tatum's 3rd year in the league, we handed him the keys, man. And it's not like we just handed him the keys and we were a bad team. We were a really good team when we handed him the keys. We were a good basketball team when we said, okay, Tatum, take over, go crazy. Cam Takos, let me up on this pod, man. We actually are going to have more people coming on soon, so that's good. We're rocking the 2 mics now, so we're not having 3 people, crowd 1 mic, which would have been distress. But I agree with what they're saying here. Tatum hasn't been a superstar for that long. I still think he needs time to be that guy, and I firmly believe that he needs time, but there changes do need to be made, and I don't think that just blowing it up, because what's the best scenario we get if we trade Tatum like tomorrow?
If we trade Jayson Tatum,
we're a bad team again. Like,
no, we won't be. First of all, a team around Jaylen Brown, I personally love. It's not going to win the championship. I'm not delusional. I'm not stupid.
I'd rather a team with Tatum.
I'm not saying trade Jaylen Brown. Okay, get an absolute haul for Tatum and Marcus Smart. Get a haul. Okay, I don't know. I personally don't know. Like, the first thing that comes to mind is I would trade. This probably sounds stupid. Personally, just for Jayson Tatum, get Kevin Porter Jr., get Jalen Green, and then get a slew of picks.
Well, now we're just unrealistic right now. There's no way they would give Jalen Green.
Well, dude, if for Jayson Tatum, you never know. You get a guy who might be a superstar for a bona fide superstar.
Okay, how about this? I'll put this a little more in the realm of reality, right? But I'll keep it around the same area. The Rockets.
Okay, Cam, if the Rockets wouldn't trade all that, then what does that tell you about Jayson Tatum?
Okay, hold on. Let me say this, all right? If it was a Rockets trade, we've seen that John Wall wants to play right now. Let's say tomorrow we do a move with Marcus Smart and Jayson Tatum to get John Wall and a whole bunch of picks. And that money, I think, matches up. I think John Wall's contract is that.
Dude. John Wall, I would not take John Wall. I'd stay far, far away from him.
Why? We're going to be a bad team with a bunch of picks anyway.
I'd stay
Might as well have John Wall.
Yeah, but if we're going to be trading all these guys, why would you take on a huge contract? Like, if we're
that's what bad teams do, man. You take bad contracts to be bad for bad years and then just get all the picks.
Well, we won't. Here's the thing: a team led by Jaylen Brown won't be a bad team. There'll be.
I think I disagree. No, I think they'll be a very bad team.
There'll be somebody who's in the play-in every single year. Okay,
I don't even think they'll go that far.
No, they won't be a lottery team around Jaylen Brown. Okay, we have a.
I think they would.
We have a good surrounding cast.
It's not that good. Well, it's okay at best.
Listen, if it's okay at best, we wouldn't be spending all this money on all of it.
What other money are you going to spend?
Huh?
You know? But
I'll tell you, I disagree.
This team right now is not going to win a championship. They're not.
Of course not.
And it's not because of Jayson Tatum. I don't think so.
So what's it because of?
This team needs to get better, man. You need,
but how many more roster adjustments can we make?
These rookies out. Get Grant Williams out of here. Get Aaron Naismith out of here. Get Romeo Langford out of here. This youth, this whole plan of the Celtics getting younger has done absolutely nothing. Back in 2019, like I said, you let all these guys walk. You let Marcus Morris. You let Al Horford. We lost everyone. We let Gordon Hayward walk. You let all these guys walk, and just to get younger and worse. I disagree with it. I think that this whole, let's get the Celtics youth, and we had 4 rookies in 2020.
Well,
that's insane.
Well, what happened when Hayward and them were on the team? They were unhappy and they wanted to leave because Hayward wasn't getting the shots, and because he was used to being that number one option. When he was in Utah? Okay, he was playing in a reduced role that didn't fit his style, and that's what led to frustration and led to him leaving because Jayson Tatum was given the keys. So if I understand that on paper, that team was a lot better. And you know what? Maybe in terms of results, it was better. And no, definitely it was. But let me tell you, it was so much frustration because, again, we were spending out so much money, max level dollars, on a guy that was now arguably the third guy on the team in terms of shots. You can't go from number 1 to number 3. Unless you're getting old, unless you're Chris Bosh, because he's a huge exception. Okay, but that's the same thing that happened with Kemba. I knew it wasn't really going to work because
I hated the Kemba thing from the beginning. Kemba was the
number 1 guy in Charlotte. And then he went to being the number 3 guy.
Yeah.
They're not playing to their strengths. Just because
how does throwing your 23-year-old superstar solve anything? He's only gonna get better. Jayson Tatum hasn't plateaued. He's not just gonna stay where he's at. He's gonna get better every single year.
I would argue
that Jaylen Brown can't get much better.
Listen, but Jaylen Brown's an all-star, and okay. So listen, I would so much rather have a team that's built around Jaylen Brown, learns continuity, learns how to play together. Okay, then we become kind of like a New York Knicks team. Okay,
Come on, Gino.
I'm serious.
Come on,
I'm so serious when I say
that's not where I want to be at. That's not a win for anyone. That's not a win for the organization.
How are they doing right now?
The Knicks?
They're doing good.
Dude, the Knicks are gonna miss the playoffs. Come on.
Listen, I think so. I agree, and I stick with that. But wait, hold on. For allowing this, you're so much better than me for allowing this topic on the pod.
I don't know how it happened either.
Listen, you guys think
I can't believe we're condoning this idea.
What I'm telling you is nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I hate to keep on beating the dead horse and repeating myself, but we have tried so many different combinations throughout the years, and it's not working. And I'm talking about being like the Knicks last year, where you have your team built around the All-Star, and then you have a supporting cast that obviously on paper isn't
That Knicks
great.
team got incredibly lucky with Julius Randle being an All-Star, though. Incredibly
he played
lucky.
in the system that worked for him. This system works for Jaylen Brown. Big Jake would be on my side because he believes that we should build the team around Jaylen Brown, and he believes that he's the best player on the team.
Fully disagree. That's just absurd.
I don't think that Jaylen Brown's the best player on the team, but I think a team built around him is better for team chemistry.
We don't give Jayson Tatum enough credit for what he has to do every single night, especially when I'd argue we're not a very good team right now. Everyone knows that Jayson Tatum is getting the ball. They know how he likes to score. They know where he likes to score. And he still goes out and he has, high 30, 40-point games. He still has games like that. Jaylen Brown hasn't been kicking it recently, and Jayson Tatum still has to go out there as a 23-year-old on, in my opinion, a bad team, and he's still getting it done. We're not winning games, but how much of that is Jayson Tatum when he's on lock?
Jayson Tatum, yes, I'm not telling you that his talent isn't good. Again, I repeat, he's a superstar. He is a superstar, and it's great to have a superstar on your team. But it's not, something is not right. And again, I urge you guys to understand that this is what's going to keep on happening. This is what you said, you liked the comparison. This is what was happening with the Washington Wizards with Wall and Beal. We go, okay, well, we have two really talented players because at the time, Wall was considered like a borderline superstar. And so wasn't Bradley Beal. And what happened? They kept on changing the pieces around there. And then eventually they realized, something's not working. We have to get rid of one of them. I'm telling you, this is the same path we are on. I'm seeing it. I'm envisioning it right now. This is the same path. I
agree, and I said I agree with that, but I don't think that dumping your best player when he's young is the right move to do. It's just not. You have an elite scorer, and I don't think that's just dumping Jayson Tatum. I think Jayson Tatum is this duo right now, in my opinion, is better than Wall and Beal. I think the situation's similar where it's like, okay, we're not winning and we're kind of a bottom of the barrel team, but we need to do something to get better. And I agree with you on that, but I don't think that moving our superstar player is necessarily that move. I think there's far better things that we could do to make this team better. And I don't think shipping Tatum for Kevin Porter Jr. and a bunch of picks, because then
Jalen Green.
Okay, but then they wouldn't do that. But
then what does that tell you about Tatum?
No, it's because they just drafted Jalen Green.
But again, then you're trading.
But they just drafted Jalen Green.
Okay, they just drafted.
Jalen Green has the highest ceiling in this draft, in my opinion.
The Pelicans just drafted Buddy Hield, and when the availability for DeMarcus Cousins was there, they traded him.
That is so different, Gino.
They traded them.
Gino, that's so different.
Come on.
We're talking about Buddy Hield and Jalen Green right now. Those are two very different players.
You never knew Buddy Hield was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, Jalen Green was arguably the number 1 pick and a generational talent.
Okay, well, I don't think Jalen Green is a generational talent.
I'm saying you have a guy who has a handle, can shoot the 3 ball, has pretty good vision.
You were very high on him.
I'm still very high on him.
I think that he can be...
He could be the rookie of the year still, in my opinion. Who else is a better rookie?
I think he can be an all-star. That's I'm not arguing. We see how that trade with Boogie worked. Okay, but that was because of injuries, Cam. That was because of injuries. I'm telling you, Boogie, before he went down with all these injuries, was the best center in the league. And I don't think, and it might have been
Anthony
a little close,
Davis is literally allergic to physicality too. So
yeah, and
that man wishes he was 6'3" so he could be a guard.
Yeah, exactly. and AD's a power forward.
Yeah.
So like a natural power forward at heart, he doesn't like playing the center.
He should play the center.
Yeah, well
I've been on AD about that. He should be playing center.
Man, listen, the man wants to play power forward. But okay, we're getting so far.
We are getting far.
But listen, what I want to tell you is just, dude, how many more years do we have to deal with? Okay, well, let's change the pieces around him. The only thing I can see salvaging this, oh yeah, no doubt prime Boogie. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's only because of injuries, and in my opinion, he'd still be a top 3 center right now.
The only reason that the Celtics team in like 2016 or 2017 and 18 didn't work was Gordon Hayward got hurt. And in my opinion, if Gordon Hayward never got hurt, we would have a couple of championships. And I'm not even kidding.
We still had Kyrie, we had JT, we had JB, and I believe we had
the culture was thrown off, man. It was weird.
No, listen, the culture only lasted a few minutes into one quarter. Like, that's not, like, they figured it out pretty damn quick.
That first year, Kyrie loved being here. We can't forget. He loved being here. He loved everything about being a Celtic.
Yeah, but then.
And then Jayson Tatum, well, because here's the thing. When you have Gordon Hayward go down, then you have more shots for Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And well, at the time, we were like, oh yeah, these guys are really good. They're developing. The power imbalance is thrown off between, okay, they were just supposed to be these kind of like role player type guys, and now it's weird. Or Tatum was supposed to develop off of Kyrie, and now it seems like Tatum almost exceeded Kyrie to a certain point, and it was weird. But in his first year here, I think we would have been very, very good had Gordon Hayward not been getting hurt. I think we would have probably been the first seed in the East. And look, who knows? We probably would have lost to the Warriors. They were really good that year, but still.
So what I'm telling you is exactly Jayson Tatum being given the keys to the kingdom, him being made that number 1 option, threw off the chemistry of everybody else.
But he's only 23.
Okay, fine. That's an argument that I will give you. Okay, that's an argument I'll give you. He's only 23. But again, like, I stand. What? Give me Valanciunas. I've been saying it. I would have loved Valanciunas here.
I wouldn't mind Valanciunas.
I would have loved Jonas Valanciunas here. But
over Mr. Freedom, yeah.
Dude, I hated that signing too.
I wasn't a fan.
But dude, let me tell you something. Like, if somebody being given the keys to the kingdom throws off the chemistry of all these max level players, that means that you have to have a very, very specific lineup. You have to have a very specific lineup. And we can't do that when we're throwing money at Smart because the fan base and everything is horny for him.
Smart needs to go. I'll agree with that. Smart needs to go.
Like, off the court, they're friends. On the court, like, they just don't work. They don't work. I've been saying this. I'm telling you, we are on the path of the Washington Wizards. And then what's just going to end up happening is we're going to have to just trade someone. We're going to get I wouldn't say an aging star in Russell Westbrook, but we're going to get a star that isn't conducive to or good for a winning style like Russell Westbrook. We're going to trade him for role players and assets. And then it's just not, it's going to be.
I get what you're saying, but also I don't think that trading Tatum puts us in the right direction as a franchise, right? Because look, if you're an NBA player,
Well, are we in the right direction right now?
We're in a better direction than if we traded Tatum for sure. We're
not going to win the title.
If you're an NBA player, you like to know that a franchise is all in on you, right? And I think it's a very bad look for an organization if it's Jayson Tatum's 6th year now.
Was it 2018? I think it was 2018.
2017. He was
2017. Okay, 17. Yep. 17.
No. Yes, 2017.
16 was Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
So 2017.
Okay, so this is his 5th year, right?
So yeah,
this is Jayson Tatum's 5th year in the league, and I don't think it's a good look going forward to to give up on a superstar player who has proved that he can be that guy and get buckets like that 5 years into his career. It's not a good look, and I don't think that that's the right move. Because let's say in theory we trade Tatum, then we're just a bad team rebuilding again. And we had when we were legitimate contenders. I'm not counting the Isaiah Thomas years. I love IT, but I don't think we were ever going to win big with IT.
We were in the Eastern Conference Finals, man.
Okay, but it was against LeBron. There was no way.
Well, we also lost to LeBron with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
But we were in the right direction. We had young player. The years that we since the rebuild, and I'm not counting those IT years because we all knew we were never going to win with that. Even I knew it, and I love Isaiah Thomas. I'm willing to admit that. We had, from the 13-14 rebuild, we had 2017, 2018, and half of 2019, because for the second half of 2019, we knew it was over. And then we're, okay, that's it? That's it, right? That's what the rebuild's for? That's what the 2013-14 trading 2 Hall of Fame players, that's what that was for? I disagree. I think, we just need to keep. I'm not ready to jump ship yet. I'm not. I don't think I'm ready to just hit the reset button, go. I don't think it's a good look for the organization to it's not working right now. Boom.
So let me tell you this, okay? The Celtics will win. They will go on hot streaks and they will win regular season games that are important. They'll face high level competition and they'll beat high level competition. I'll tell you that. I'll give you that. But what also ends up happening here is, we lose games to teams we should not lose to. It kind of looks like we take nights off. Okay, it kind of looks like we couldn't give a shit less. That is an attitude problem that is internal and that cannot be changed. That is an attitude problem that is with you and will forever be with you. That is not something that's fixable.
We already explained that. We already agreed that Tatum's attitude isn't the reason they're losing. I don't think it is.
But the team takes on the attitude of your best player. Jayson Tatum
that's not always true. It depends on their actions. Tatum's a bucket.
He's a bucket. He's a superstar. Again, I don't want to keep on saying that.
Okay.
The team takes on the attitude of your best player. Okay. Jayson Tatum's the best player on the team. Okay, and we take nights off. We do. We'll face Detroit or we'll face a bad team and we'll be like, you know what? We'll still be in the playoffs. We're fine. We'll still be in the playoffs. We're fine. Okay, and that's what we'll do. Good teams win the games they should. Okay? Mm-hmm. When New England faces Jacksonville this year, okay, what do you think's going to end up happening? Mac Jones
should win that game.
Mac Jones is going to be like, you know what? We're still the number 2 seed in the AFC. Let's take the night off. Hoyer, all yours, buddy. No, that's not what's going to happen. Okay, teams who play up and down to their competition are teams who feel as though they've done something.
That's different.
The Celtics haven't done anything.
There's teams that play down to their competition. The Steelers notoriously have been a team like that where they play down to their competition. I think the Bills right now are like that. They will play down to their competition. And look, I think it's different in football though, because in football it's one night. When you have guys in the NBA where they're playing 82, you can't go all in and score 30, 40 points a game every single night.
Well, some games you need to win on.
Sure, yeah, and I think we have games like that. The night where we played the Lakers, Tatum got in his bag and he did what he had to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But that's why I think that the regular season is when you need your role players to come in. That's when, and it's hurt to not having Jaylen Brown right now. He's back tonight. I think the Celtics are actually playing right now. So hopefully, who knows what's going on with that right now. Watch Celtics are just blowing them out. We've been wrong this whole time.
But dude, I can't begin to stress enough. How much longer can this go? What combination? What level of player? Do we need to get? Because I personally don't think we're gonna get Bradley Beal. Okay, I don't think we're going to get Bradley Beal. So what's going to happen? It's just going to continue to be JT and JB and then Marcus Smart, unfortunately, and then a surrounding cast that's going to be actually like pretty decent, but it's just, and it's actually like kind of what Jayson Tatum and specifically Jayson Tatum needs, but it's just not gonna be anything that's close to winning. We're not gonna beat the Bucks in the playoffs.
Probably not.
Okay, we're not gonna beat the Heat. We're not gonna beat Brooklyn. We might not beat the Hornets. We might not beat the Bulls. We might not beat the Knicks, the Hawks. Okay, the Sixers, maybe the Sixers.
Can we play this game real quick? Can we play the game of what players are better than the Celtics in the East right now? All right, ready?
Okay.
So I can go down those for you. Brooklyn.
Kevin
Yes.
Durant, James Harden.
Yes, those are just the whole team is better. Ready? Chicago. I'd argue yes. I think that team goes deep, and I really
are you talking about players?
just the team.
Oh,
Team's
okay.
better,
Okay, yeah. Brooklyn
Okay.
better. Chicago, yes. More
Miami,
well-rounded.
yes.
Miami, my pick to win the championship.
Washington,
yes.
I don't think so.
No.
I think we're a better team than Washington. Milwaukee, no.
Yes.
Yes, they're a better team. We're not better than them. Sorry, that's what I
Yes,
meant.
Milwaukee's
Charlotte's an arguably a better team than us.
maybe.
Maybe.
Close,
We'll see.
neck.
I don't think the Knicks are. I don't think the Cavs are.
Well, the Knicks
The
play
Sixers,
better.
I don't. The Hawks, I don't.
Listen,
So look there. You have a top. We can argue 5, 6 seed
There's a
in the
difference
East.
between
Still,
there's a difference between on paper and just how the team actually performs on the
Okay.
floor. Because look, the Knicks were the 4th seed last year, and they had an all-star and then a very like average surrounding cast. But what happened? They all played hard. They all played their asses off, and it didn't result obviously in like a winning thing. But they didn't make it any further than what's it called? They didn't make it any further than the Celtics did.
it's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't make it any further than the Celtics did.
That's
And
true.
like this, and obviously the Celtics are facing Brooklyn. But do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying, and I understand the argument, but I've been all for okay, players need to get out of here, they need to get out, but I don't think that having Jayson Tatum jump ship right now is the move. I don't think it is, because from there I don't think we're a very good team. After that, I don't think that this team around
Jalen
Jalen
right now.
Yeah, but I don't think we're even worse without Jayson Tatum.
But
We're
if
worse.
we're not winning championships and we're not in the conference finals every year, then who cares?
Well, we're not
If we're
going to
just-
win. We're not going to win championships if we just rebuild either.
Listen,
But might as well try and throw everything we have at this now.
no,
Because then
nothing's
what?
working.
Gino,
we don't have money.
Gino,
we don't have assets.
We rebuilt, like, it felt. I know it's not that long, and it's longer for a whole lot of other teams, but it felt like forever where we rebuilt after we traded Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett for all those Nets picks. It felt so long,
we don't
man.
have cap space. Okay, we don't have.
We will have it after we trade Marcus.
We don't have. Well, he's only maybe for like another Marcus level player though, not for like an all-star. Okay, like maybe a cheap 2-year deal, or 1-year deal, but that's it. Okay, then we don't have cap space. We don't have lots of assets in terms of draft picks. Okay, like we don't have very like talented role play. We have good role players, but we don't have like very ideal ones. Okay, and like that's it. Like what I've been saying for so long. You remember this episode when I said, dude, just get guys on 1-year prove-it deals. Okay, they'll all play hard because they know that it's probably their last chance. Okay, and once their value increases, trade them and get decent and like maybe package them to try to get like a fringe all-star guy. Like, it's so simplistic. I'm telling you, it's so simplistic.
It's not that easy.
It is. It's so simple. It's what the Knicks did. It's
Yeah,
the Knicks should have traded.
The Knicks had one good year out of being awful for like 2 decades.
But what happened? They got Worldwide Wes, okay, as an executive guy. They had Tom Thibodeau as the coach. And what did they do? They picked up low-level guys who were on free agent deals, like cheap.
They got lucky. They threw shit at the wall,
lucky.
and it's stuck. It's stuck until the Hawks.
They worked their ass off.
I disagree. I still don't like Tibbs as a coach.
And now they're one of the most respected teams in the league. Respected, not good or bad.
I shut my arm so hard.
Respected. Oh, hit your funny bone.
And it was not funny.
But that's what they did. They worked their ass off and they became a very respected team. Like, yeah, they may not win it all. They may not go to the conference finals. But nobody likes playing them because they're a pain in the ass to play against.
This feels like a classic scenario where we're gonna disagree forever.
I'm telling
it's
you,
one of those.
In a couple years time, you'll go back to episode 29, live on Conti and Nich, and you will all understand.
Who's right, Nicholson or Conti? That's for the fan to decide.
Right now, everyone will say It's not blasphemy.
It is
Cam.
pretty blasphemous. It's pretty blasphemous.
I'm telling you, we're not going to get anywhere.
You just I don't understand the whole make the team worse for the next 5 years instead of maybe being good.
It doesn't have to be like Jalen Green and Kevin Porter.
Because that was never going to happen.
The assets you will get for Jayson Tatum, a lifelong Lakers fan who's playing in green, who really
guys don't care about that, man.
Yes, they do.
They do not.
Yes,
they don't care about that. The media makes it seem like that we all we care about it. They don't care about it. I'm telling you, they do not care about that.
Do you think Jayson Tatum wants to be walking in a very cold building in the middle of December
to make millions of dollars and play basketball? Yeah, I think he's showing to that. I think he's okay.
He'd rather be on the warm beach of Miami. He'd rather be in the palm trees in L.A., where his hometown is and where his lifelong no disrespect.
He went to Duke. Okay, but Duke isn't exactly he could have went to UCLA.
But it's a big basketball. Zion went to Duke.
Yeah, now he's in New Orleans.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be there.
I
think Zion wants to be in the New Orleans Pelicans franchise? No. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Do
we think Cade Cunningham wants to be in Detroit?
No, none of these. No, they don't. What I'm telling you is, when he becomes distressed, you're gonna get. It's not an if, it's when. You're not gonna win a championship here with this current constructed roster. There's not many moves that you could make. We were handcuffed. We were lucky that Schroeder had a bad year, so we could get him for cheap. Otherwise, Peyton Pritchard would be our point guard. Okay, nothing wrong with that.
We would have kept Chris Dunn or something.
Or we would have
something
kept
like that would have happened.
But that's less than ideal too.
No, that's not very good either.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not a matter of if. It's a matter of when he becomes distressed. We're gonna get pennies on the dollar for him. Get
He's on a 5-year deal. We'll be fine.
No, but I'm saying when
he signed that extension.
Okay, but AD signed an extension with New Orleans, and what did he want? He wanted to go to LA immediately. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Will. He's gonna want out, and then his trade value is gonna go all the way down. And then what you could really and truly get for a superstar is not going to be what you're going to get. It's really that simple.
I don't think Tatum wants out yet.
You just watch. You watch.
I'm telling you. Who knows? I'll agree with you that we should trade Tatum when he says, I want out. Until then, you keep throwing everything you got at this team because I cannot stand the Celtics just being awful again. I was very sad in middle school.
Listen, the only thing...
I was very upset the Celtics were bad.
The only thing that's going to save this team is if we somehow pull off what happened in 2007, 2008 when we get Allen and we get Garnett. And you know what? It's not going to happen because we don't have a guy like Al Jefferson to trade. Okay, we don't
Marcus Smart.
No, Marcus Smart and Al Jefferson. Al Jefferson was a better center than Marcus Smart is a shooting guard.
Sure.
Okay, no, I'm serious.
Sure.
You got to realize that Danny Ainge and Kevin McHale, boys, playing on the 80 Celtics team, right? Kevin McHale was on the management team for the Timberwolves, and he got pennies
KG did not want to come here.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But he loved it when he did get here.
Yeah.
But initially he didn't. That's the only way this can be salvaged. And I'm telling you, Bradley Beal's not it. If we get Bradley Beal somehow, some way, we are not winning a championship. We're not even going to make it to the NBA Finals. Maybe the Eastern Conference. We will not make it to the NBA Finals. It'll be a similar case like Gordon Hayward not wanting to, because he'll be relegated to a second or third option. He's not used to it. He's not going to be used to it, and he'll have a hard time adjusting. And we're paying a guy max money to be not the number one option.
In conclusion, Dirk Nowitzki is the best player of all time.
Yes.
Shout out Jason Dan. All right, I want to know what you guys think from this episode. We had a lot, happen there. We had a lot of disagreement. I'll probably end up clipping a lot of this because I want to know is because I didn't think that this was a big thing among Celtics fans until a couple of weeks ago. I know my brother Brady and some of my cousins have talked about we need to trade Jayson Tatum. I've seen the sports group chat. You and Brady agree. Shocking, right?
And Andrew Tillman.
Oh, surprise. Yeah, okay, sure. But is this a big thing among a majority of Celtics? Do we want Tatum gone? Do you guys remember when we were awful and we really didn't even have a shot at making the playoffs? Well, it was fun when the Celtics were the 8th seed and 7th seed to get swept.
Listen.
Is that better to maybe have another chance at? I don't know.
I rest my case. You know what you're getting with this team, and it's nothing close to even sniffing a championship. That's all we accept in Boston. If we trade Jayson Tatum,
the rings, baby.
At least the unknown of the assets that we'd get back and how it would all play out would be better than what we have now. Right now, we are in Portland Trail Blazers mode where we have a superstar in Dame and an all-star in CJ and then a good supporting cast. They keep on switching the supporting cast.
Dame's been awful
and they
this year,
switch the
too.
coach. And they switch the coach, and nothing is working. Nothing works. We're the Portland Trailblazers. We're the Portland Trailblazers
Of the East.
We are.
Hey.
And you know what? The Portland Trailblazers, they made it to the Western Conference Finals one year. But guess what? Nothing's going to ever come of it.
Yeah.
So why not try something new? Just do it a year too early before a year too late. You realize that Joe Montana took the Chiefs to the AFC title game in his first year with the Chiefs? And then what happened? I rest my case.
Sure. Well, I think
Willie Nick picks?
no, I didn't actually do the Willie Nick picks yet. I know that was my bad. I usually call my grandfather. I was very lazy today and I forgot to. But we love Pop. We'll talk to him tomorrow.
Great Pop, baby.
Yeah, we love him. But I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. And again, I really want to hear if this is the consensus around Celtics fans. Do we want to go back to the very dark place where Isaiah Thomas was our best player? It was fun.
Let's not
it was
act like
fun.
Jayson Tatum is
It was
Jesus
fun.
Christ. He's not.
He's very, very good.
He's not.
He's
Jesus
better than
Christ.
IT. He's better
not
than
Je-
IT.
Oh, well, good for you, buddy. You're bigger than a free agent. You're better than a free agent.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Get IT on a team. He's not. He's one of the best players in the world, and to not be on a team.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, I'll stand by that. But once again, thank you for watching. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Conti and Nick. We're gonna be posting more, and I really am interested to see how this sounded because the two mic really sounded good, and I felt a lot like I was on 98.5 today, just sitting in my chair, holding up my mic and talking to my buddy about how bad the Celtics are.
And don't forget about Cialis Inflatable.
Of course, yes.
You know what? You want to know
Look it
someone
up.
who has never, ever, ever forgotten about Cialis Inflatable?
John Bro! Peace, ladies and gentlemen.